Can leaders create culture? It's my opinion they can't. Leaders can create the environment that leads to the development of a culture. In other words, leaders cultivate the culture. I once worked in an office on a very stressful program. We were behind schedule, overrunning, and still had many technical problems to overcome. The deputy presented the leadership with a list of cultural values for the office. I asked, "How is this list generated?" My boss replied, "I made it based on what I feel should be the priorities." I explained that in order for the list to be embraced by the employees, we needed their input. The employees needed to buy into these values rather than have them dictated to them. Again, leaders can't create culture. So where do you start? What if I told you there was just one thing you could do that would require no investment of time or money that could show that you genuinely care about your people? In his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie cites an old quote from an advertisement for a department store. "None are so rich they can get along without it, and none so poor but are richer for its benefits." Do you know what it is? It's a smile. You might find it surprising, but you can even hear a smile through the phone. Dr. Amy Drahota at the University of Portsmouth recorded interviews with volunteers and required them to respond, "I do in the summer," no matter the question. An example question included, "Do you ever sunbathe?" And the volunteer would respond, "I do in the summer." The interview gradually became more amusing and slightly embarrassing. "Do you go skinny dipping?" And the volunteer had to reply, "I do in the summer." According to Dr. Drahota, the speakers were admitting what they do in the summer, even if it wasn't true, which made the interview very bizarre to the speakers, which would have made them smile. Researchers detected 3 different types of smiles, and then the audio was played back to another group of test subjects. Even without seeing the speakers, the listeners were able to hear the different types of smiles the speaker made as he or she went through the wacky interview. Your challenge? Make an effort to smile, especially when you're on the phone. Remember, little things matter.